Senator McGovern was really quite torn by that. I think he was at his best as a human being and probably at his worst as a politician, which is not bad.
The McGovern-Eagleton ticket. It was history. Next came the McGovern-Shriver ticket. Sergeant Shriver and George McGovern. And off and running, 1,000%.
One old-time politician at that youth-dominated Democratic convention said, "There's too much long hair here and not enough cigars." Well, he probably didn't read Ms. Magazine or watch MASH either, but a lot of people did. Come back to Gloria Steinem and Hot Lips Houlihan in the rest of the summer of '72.
Our world continues between the lines in the summer of '72.
Welcome back to Our World. It's the summer of 1972, a time to read between the lines. For example, women bought aviator sunglasses to cover their eyes. They wore them with bathing suits that told you everything you wanted to know and no longer needed to ask. Being 18 still made you eligible for the draft and Vietnam, but finally it also made you eligible to vote for president. It was the summer Smokey Robinson and the Miracles spoke the truth when at their farewell concert they sang, "Just because you've become a young man now, there's still some things you don't understand now. My mama told me you better shop around." And so we did.
Go, girl. Shop around for some paperbacks to take to the beach. The Exorcist was very big that summer, and The Happy Hooker, The Godfather. You could zip through those while you were tanning on one side, and you didn't have to read between the lines to follow the stories. And what's a day at the beach without a record of it? The Polaroid SX70 was new that summer. Now you could see what you had wrought in 60 seconds. Laurence Olivier said so.
In minutes, you will have a finished photograph of such dazzling beauty that you will feel you're looking at the world for the first time. The new SX70 land camera from Polaroid.
I can't believe I ate that whole thing.
You ate it, Ralph.
The big commercial that summer was a whole lot more plebeian than Lord Olivier selling a camera.
Can't believe I ate that whole thing.
Take two Alka-Seltzer.
When we started developing the advertising, I started thinking back as a child to my experience with Alka-Seltzer.
Creative director Charlie Moss had lived with Alka-Seltzer all his life.
My mother was just an Alka-Seltzer freak. She thought Alka-Seltzer could practically cure anything. No matter what you had, she'd give you Alka-Seltzer. You know, you had a stomachache, get Alka-Seltzer. But I remember a cousin of mine had broken his leg, and I heard her talking on the phone and seriously suggesting to my aunt that he take some Alka-Seltzer. It would make him feel better.
Waiter says, "Try this, you'll like it. What's this? Try it, you'll like it. But what is try it, you'll like it?" So I tried it. Thought I was gonna die. Took two Alka-Seltzer.
This kind of advertising was probably the last of its type for a long while, because '72 was a transition year in the advertising business, and the mood of the country and the mood of really most clients, most advertisers, became rather somber. I mean, you couldn't, people just weren't in the mood for ha-ha.
It was a serious time. Women were on the march for economic equality, and their banner that summer was a brand new magazine called Ms.
We were going to change, or try to change, the landscape of publishing by hiring women.
Patricia Carbine published Ms. Magazine.
What we really wanted to do was get women into the pipeline that at that point led to or could lead at least, to the publisher's office.
Most of the traditional women's magazines at that point did not even have women editors, much less women publishers, ad salespeople, and so on.
Co-founder Gloria Steinem was an editor and lead bugler.
There was, and I'm afraid there still is, no other national magazine for women that is actually controlled by women. So we wanted to have a magazine that didn't argue about whether women were full human beings or not, but just assumed it and went on from there. We looked at a lot of different titles. Finally, we decided on Ms. because it just indicates female without marital status. We wanted Ms. to be a different kind of magazine because it was one that would help us really change our lives, not just how to make 101 kinds of hamburger, but also physically how to change our lives. And perhaps most of all, to be what it still is, which is a kind of portable friend for women. But I think we may have been skeptical about its survival since everybody was telling us it would never last, because you'll notice in the first issues there's too much to read. It's like we were trying to cram in everything because we thought each issue would be our last.
There was always a specialness, I think, about the group from the very beginning.
MASH, of course, used the Korean War to make a point about the Vietnam War. Vietnam made its own points vividly. Remember this picture? 9-year-old Kim Phuc running naked down a road near Saigon. A South Vietnamese plane had mistakenly dropped napalm on a half-dozen women and children. Kim Phuc survived. Come back to the 1972 Olympics, which 11 Israeli athletes did not survive.
Our world will continue with Between the Lines in the summer of '72.